important to create an environment where, and people, again, I say it sounds corny, where children feel safe to be able to express themselves. They know it's cool. They know they're not going to be judged. They're not going to be labeled. They're not going to be stigmatized. And sometimes it's the first place. I remember a parent said this to me, "Raw, you know, it's the first time anybody's ever told me that, like, my child's like really intelligent." For a lot of children, this is the first time that they're gonna be or feel intellectual. They're gonna be told, "Oh, right, you're hugely intelligent, you're amazingly articulate, you're this, that, and the other." And it's very sad because we've got a lot of children, a lot of grown adults who have had traumatic experience in education, but there is not much in place, or this isn't really a discussion that's being had. And that's why I thank you, because a lot of the podcasts, not to be disrespectful in any way, there are a lot of similar themes. You with me? There are a lot of similar
They only talk about relationships most of the time.
Relationships, football.
Somebody had to say it.
No, that's true. Relationships, football, and this, that, and the other. But everyone's been to school.
Someone was saying to me, "Oh yeah, why don't you put blah 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 more and this, that?" And I said to them, anytime we have serious discussions like this here, it will do the first episode very high,
and then
the next two
medium.
The moment I talk about relationships or just dumb subjects now,
it's peaking
all day.
15k, 20k, the views will just spike. So I said to them, the truth is, you lot say you want this. I've said it in the comments. I'm like, you lot say you want this, but the truth is, it's not something you tune into. You would rather me run jokes all the time. But I'm like, if I run jokes all the time, my page would be on like 50k subs easy. But it's like, I have this talk all the time with one of my good friends, Madam Joyce, and I was like, the problem with that, why I don't want to do that, is I want the content to outlast me. So even years after, if I stop doing YouTube, someone could go back 10 years back and be like, you know what, I should have watched this back then. I could show this to my younger one now. So there's always something that's relevant through time and not
timeless.
Just, you know what I mean? Not just for the moment. So it's like, even circling back to school and that, I think what kept me in check, one, was I'm super competitive. So not only on sports, in education wise, like I think, like, as a kid, like the people that I related more to as in characters were like Batman, Tony Stark, Lex Luthor, where I wanted to be the smartest and the strongest at the same time. So I wanted a bit of both. And it's like, when people are like, "Ro, who's your favorite DC character?" I'm like, "Batman." Everyone's like, "Why? He ain't got no powers." I'm like, "Yeah, the guy's a genius though." So what happened in my family, my cousins were really, really smart. So it was a competition and everything. We wanted to be the smartest in the house, that, you know what I mean? I think what kept me in check in school though was, at first when I moved there from Nigeria when I was 11. So I used to get into a lot of fights at my first new school.
You say fresh.
FOB. Fresh. FOB. So I moved to second school, fights again. But after I got kicked out, what kept me in check?
Something very interesting now. We're going to circle back.
What kept me in check was a couple things. I never had a passport.
Right.
So my aunt said, "I'm going to send you back to Nigeria." If I got sent back, I would never been able to get back in. That would be me done forever. So my whole life would be totally different to what it is now.
Unless Pretty Patel's watching.
You get what I'm saying? I would have never been able to get back in. So that kind of instantly, knowing that, kept me in check, because one of my cousins, he got sent back. And when he got sent back, he came back and he was never the same. And when I see it, I was just like, "Raw, they used to think sending you back would keep you in check. But if you go to like some of the roughest schools out there and you become one of the baddest youths in that school due to, like, you sent him back now and you sent him back
You ain't got nothing to lose.
You ain't got nothing to lose. There's no one else from the family there. So you sent him to a boarding school on his own, and he has to represent for himself, one up. You've left him in the middle of nowhere. Like Saturday, Sunday, he can't come back. Them days there, remember, it was a calling card thing. We didn't have WhatsApp calls, all that, so it was a calling card thing. He didn't have a mobile phone either. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if they call the school's phone,
Yeah.
that's when he might be able to get that conversation.
Pass a message, run and get
Pass a
come-
message. You know what I
come
mean?
back,
So
yeah.
in my head, it was just like, if I get sent back, I just kind of knew like I'm not like all these youths. So my whole life's gonna change differently. I might be one of them men on the roadside selling like can of milk and sweets and that just
A
because
couple
of
naira.
you get me, just because of one moment of fighting in school. So instantly, that made me just it changed everything. Because I think growing up here, I had a temper just because I felt like anytime something happened, like if someone said something, I had to prove that. But that light bulb moment made me realize that, raw, we're fighting. I'm stronger than all of you. I'm stronger than this man, this man, that man. Like, what I realized here, the strongest people in school never used to try and antagonize me because they were already confident in themselves that they didn't need to trouble no one else.
That almost comes back, brings the thing full circle to Will Smith.
Yeah.
As a man,
Yeah.
when you're confident in yourself,
The strongest man in my school,
you ain't got to put hands on no one.
they never used to just, they were so
have
cool,
to.
calm and collected. So after I've learnt from them, I was like, rah, these man move, like my brother who died, Jamel. Like, I was like, rah, these men always move calm. He would never seem start no one. He would always be jokey. Everyone knew he was the strongest. He was like, in my year, able to beat up people 2 years above him. But he was just always, you know what I mean? He was just always that guy. So after seeing this, I was just like, rah, be like more like them, where you're just cool, calm, collected, don't get into madness, be chilled out. And that just humbled me. It proper humbled me, because like I remember as a kid where like there's one of the doors in my old house where I got angry because my older cousin, she said something that triggered me. I'm like, I'm never gonna hit a woman. I literally just bang, boom, through the door, and that hole is there. And literally, my cousin's like, right, you gonna fix the door? I said, no, that's memories. I just.
And I was saying something very similar earlier on that, but the reason why, and it's interesting you speak about the older boys, olders, and having that influence, having that. That's why it's so important, because men who really know what it is to be a man never really ever want it to get to the threat of violence, because if it's two men and it get, as you're talking about that competitive, that real, it's a matter of life and death. You with me? That's what it comes to. It's not like a funny, like the whole slap thing. Not to bring it back. That's not a joke.
That's not a joke.
You with me? That's not
embarrassing someone in
on national. Like, that's not a joke. This is serious.
Ziggy, you know what? I said something here. Like as a tweet, I said, right, if it was someone like Little Dirk or one of them Chicago,
one of them young youths,
no chance.
Like
The
Will
whole
Smith
Oscars is getting shot up.
and kept his mouth.
Bruv,
He would have had to laugh.
The whole Oscars.
The whole
would
place
have
would have turned into
literally.
Listen, if that was Dave Chappelle,
Dave would have reacted.
he wouldn't have got up. He wouldn't have got up.
Yeah, Dave would react.
If that was another comic, if that was another, it's only because, as you say, Chris Rock's a bit.
Rock,
really not really having the size and. You get me?
That's because he ain't got the size.
He doesn't have no size.
If it was even Kevin Hart, Kevin ain't having it.
Kevin trains. Kevin
There would have
trains.
been two Philly guys fighting.
Yeah.
They're both from Philadelphia.